So good evening, everyone. I'll be very brief because it's already past 10 my time, 10 p.m. Nigerian time. All right, so my name is Onaivi, Dania, and it's a great pleasure to be here. And thank you, Rockitech for this opportunity. So basically, I'll just go straight, and cut all the pleasantries and just go straight, basically. Um, so basically, I chose the topic, right, regarding accessing global opportunities because of my own experience in that field. Uh, so sometimes we think, you know, so we're not created to be small. We're not created to be limited, right? We're actually created, to expand, to dominate. Do you understand? And so, uh, what actually, triggered this was my own experiences and how I see a lot of people actually tapping into people that are not even as experienced as some of us, getting into fellowships, getting into having access to grants, scholarships, just because they have the opportunity. No, just because they have the knowledge, right, and the right information. Do you understand? So I just felt okay. Perhaps this would just be a good time to just have this conversation, right? Because I've noticed some of us are actually thought leaders. Okay, we post articles on LinkedIn, you know, but there could be much more. That means the world is in need of our expertise. The world is in need of our skills, not just by by global opportunities. I'm not talking about jobs now, right? I'm talking about, having opportunities, speaking engagements, for example, presenting papers, speaking at conferences, right? You know, every one of us, we have something actually to actually, offer the world. So one way or the other, we all qualify for one opportunity, right? So that was why, we created this topic, Beyond Borders, a strategic blueprint for global thought leadership. How do you globalize your skills, your influence? How do you share your story uh, in a connected world, particularly for those that, are actually very ambitious to scale their impact? They're tired of just being in one location. They're tired of being in one place. They want to do more. They want to they want to be seen more, they want to be heard more. So this presentation basically is just for those of us in that category, right? Okay, so let's go ahead. So technology, interestingly, has already democratized the global stage. What this means now is you can just be in your room and you can reach the world. Do you understand? So technology has actually helped us, to reshape how we think, how we live, how we act, how we behave. Do you understand? So there were gatekeepers in the past, right? But now there are no gatekeepers. So what this means is you now have access to the world, right? So from your house, from your home, from your home office, you possess the ability to actually access unlimited information and connect with any opportunity. So geography is no longer a constraint, right? So what that means is you are in the UK, you can actually reach people um, even beyond, the UK, right? You can reach people in different countries, in different continents at the same time, right? And, even physically as well. Okay. Somebody was saying something recently, he was saying that, the test of a material is basically in its universality. So what that means is a phone should be a phone anywhere, for example. So if I take a phone, if I create a phone in Japan, that phone should be accessed, anywhere in the world, right? People in Africa can use that phone and they will say, yes, this is world class. People in America can use the phone and say it's world class, right? These days, Africans are even creating products and services that are actually world class, products and services that people all over the globe can actually use as well and call them world class, right? And so, uh, like I said, you're already qualified to compete. Do you understand? So the old model actually was based on exclusivity and credentials, right? I've spoken in so many events. I've been to so many countries: Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, Morocco, the US, Canada, quite a lot of places, Uganda, Rwanda. I've spoken in so many places like that, right? Now, not one has actually asked me for my certificate or for my CBAP or PMP. Not one has asked me for my credentials. Do you understand? Right? So what that means is everybody has something to share. Everybody um has a perspective. You have a way of seeing things, and you know you should be able to reach out to the globe or have people invite you to share your own perspective. There is a way that you are seeing things. There's a way you imagine things, right? And perhaps you've created some frameworks around that imagination and you want to share, right? There's something inside you, whether it's a book, papers, a thought, um, podcasts, something inside you that, you know, wants to express itself beyond the limits of virtuality, wants to actually express itself, and connect to human beings actually. Do you understand? So regardless of your specific field, current qualifications or years of experience, there's always a platform, right? Waiting for your knowledge. Okay, waiting for your knowledge. So there are four pillars of global expansion. There's the expression. So basically, you want to be able to give tangible expression to your thought leadership, and that is what a lot of us are already doing, posting on Instagram, posting on TikTok, posting articles, quality articles that can reach thousands or even hundreds of thousands, posting articles on LinkedIn and the sorts. Okay. Uh, then the next one is very important, which is the impact. All right. And from experience, I've learned how to document my impact. So let's say when I create a program, right, I document it. If I'm invited to speak, I document it. If my face is on the flyer, I document it. Do you understand? I have about almost 400 pages of documentation regarding my impact, awards, books written, um, places I've spoken at, places I was invited to speak, virtual events just like this. So I just screenshot all those things and I just document them. Why am I documenting? Very simple. One day there will be a need for that. Do you understand? Right? In fact, there are even opportunities, there are visa opportunities now. There's the EB1 visa, right? If you have demonstrated a level of impact, you can actually, just present some of all those evidences and exhibits, right, of your work. Do you understand? So we are not called to waste impact, right? So when, for instance, you are invited to speak somewhere, just, it's either you request for a letter, or if you don't have a letter, or if it's just a simple WhatsApp message, screenshot it. That can be, that can serve as an evidence. Maybe we'll talk about this much later, but that's not the reason for the telling you. I'm just telling you there are four major pillars: the expression, the impact, right? How your thought leadership is actually impacting people. Do you understand? And you should be able to document it. Who has used your services? Who has used your product? Who has used your model? Do you understand? So I created a model last year, and I'm already in the works. It's already in the works of being patented, no, trademarked. Do you understand? So anything that you know that has worked for you, that you want, that has also worked for others, you can actually create a framework. Something that has worked for you. So for example, um, the one I created has to do with profits. How do you make profits? All the way from the vision, from after vision, the mission, the model. How do you break it down into systems, Do you get before you get to income, then before you get to profit? So I just created that framework. Do you understand? So it has worked for me. So that is the framework I created. I documented it, you know, and I have that. So all those kind of things you can actually, share with the world, right? Something that so if it's a 5-step formula on how to overcome depression, okay, something unique to you, you can just create that. That is impact, okay? And impact even goes beyond that. Impact now has to do with, okay, the people that have actually this thing that you said that you've created, that you trademarked, or you're in the process of trademarking. Have people actually engaged in it, and have people, used it? Has it worked for them? Right? Then there is network. So you have to be able to break out of your local silos and build networks. Okay, sorry, I had to switch my connection. Anyway, then there's credibility, right? You want to be able to gain authoritative validation on an international scale. All right. So you want to be able to move beyond the digital connection. Okay. So I'll just go straight because all this one seems like plenty grammar. Do you understand? So I think I will just go straight to. So we want to basically find ways, right? You want to find smart ways to globalize our skills, our knowledge, even beyond online platforms. So we want to be seen in physical rooms, in panel sessions. So one of the people that actually influenced my desire to start traveling physically now was one guy. He's still there. His name is Jafet Omojua, right? He's a popular Twitter influencer. So those days, many years ago, I think about 2013 or 2012, okay, 2013, people were insulting him that, he had not traveled, that people were insulting him that it was just online voice he had. Do you understand? So he said he made up his mind that, you know what, these my two legs, right, will be in those places that those people have been, bantering, to him about, right? So he said his two legs will go to the US, to China, to Australia. And guess what? That guy is widely traveled now, right? He's always speaking at events, different places. He has traveled around the world, right? But he made up his mind. So the first has to actually do with that decision that, you know what, my skills, my knowledge, everything basically that I have, right? My expression will not just be online, right? It will go global. Okay. So you want to go global because you want to give expression to your thought leadership, right? You want to go global because you want to share your own unique story that could change someone's life, right? You want to go global because you want to build networks beyond our current circle. You want to go global because you want to gain credibility. So, what are the things that we can actually do, right? What are the things that we can do? So first, right? And please, I need questions. I need questions. So I want it to be more engaging, so it don't look like I'm just talking to myself. Okay. So the first is you want to write thought leadership, right? You want to you want to deliver thought leadership, right? Via articles, right? Articles, podcasts, debates, videos, master classes. So for me, what I did one time, that was in 2017, right? I started creating something called the mentorship masterclass. Do you understand? The mentorship masterclass. So I held the mentorship masterclass in Lagos, in Abuja, in Accra, Ghana, uh, in Kenya, in Rwanda, in Tanzania, in Uganda. Okay, there were free master classes. So what I was doing basically was to establish my own thought leadership. Do you understand? So now that mentorship masterclass has already gone global. Do you understand? It has given me awards, has given me many opportunities, recognition, and all of that. Right. And of course, I've documented all those things as well. I've also documented even the processes that actually got me to got me those opportunities, right? So you can create master classes that will be unique to you. You can even patent them. I'm sorry, trademark them, right? Master classes that can be unique to you. Another thing again is that you can write books, right? Now there are tools that can even help you. There was a tool like I found out recently. It's called Bookstera, right? It's an AI tool that can help you create your book from start to finish. Do you understand? And you can also publish it, and all of that. So something that would naturally take you, like thousands of hours before okay, like to write, to clean up, to tidy up and all of that, and to publish the book. Okay, it will just take you like 15 minutes to do so. Do you understand? So it's a very powerful AI tool, right? So you don't really need to, spend so much time, right? To to write the book, then to format that book again. Do you understand? Right? So there are tools that can actually help you to write books these days, to write workbooks. Okay, I've written some workbooks, and uh, I've even had my, what do you call this thing, ISBN numbers, for those workbooks as well. You can create templates, you can create spreadsheets, right? And so on and so forth. Another thing again you can do basically is to volunteer as a peer reviewer. So there was a peer, you can be, you can actually, search for conferences, right? Search for conferences in your field, okay? Search for conferences in your field and,
Sorry,
you
just to
know,
let you know, you are no longer sharing your screen.
oh, really? It's not,
If that
oh,
is the
sorry.
intention.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. All right. So let me, right. So you can work as a peer reviewer. So for instance, I'm a peer reviewer for University of New Mexico, University of New Mexico Mentoring Conference. Do you understand? So I've reviewed about 8 papers, okay? And every year, but I think last year I don't think I had that time to do that, right? But you can actually volunteer. So all these things, and this can even help you, right, in some applications in the future, right? So there's something under your EB1A green card petition called, um what's it called again? Being asked to judge the work of other people. Do you understand? Right? So apart from that, I'm not even saying okay, just because of green card or O1 visas and all of that, but just for your own personal development that you're contributing to the entire, quality of thought leadership in that your space. Do you get? So for me, I call myself a mentoring advocate because I've always been, you know, an advocate of mentoring because I was mentored basically, right, to get to where I am, and I also mentor others as well. And so I've created lots of resources on the subject of mentoring. I've done a lot of classes, subject of mentoring, managers as mentors, teachers as mentors. I even did a training for a school in Republic of Benin, right? For their teachers called Teachers as Mentors. You get? So I've done a lot of work in that space because that's what I'm passionate about. Although that doesn't give me money, the other things that give me money. Do you get technology, data analysis, AI now, business analysis, training, corporate training, right? Gives me money. But in terms of my passion, right, my advocacy in mentorship, that doesn't really give me money. I've written books on mentoring, CDs, audio CDs, so stuff like that, right? And so that prompted me to even volunteer as, a peer reviewer in some mentoring institutions. You get? Now, the other one is to look for opportunities to apply to be a speaker. Now, a lot of people don't know that you can actually, apply to become a speaker at events, right? You can actually apply to become a speaker at events. Okay. Uh, my very first international speaking engagement, it was at Social Media Week Nairobi, and that was in 2017. Do you know how I got that opportunity? So we are done. I had spoken at Social Media Week Lagos, right, that year. But somehow I just felt there could be more to this. Do you understand? I now discovered that there was a Social Media Week Nairobi. I think they posted, I think they did a tweet or they did a post about Social Media Week Lagos. So you know what I did? I crafted a very good message. Okay, what I did was, okay, yes, I sent an email to them. I didn't get any response. Do you understand? Then what I did was I looked for their websites. I looked for a number there. I looked for a number there. I called that number. I spoke with the person, the organizer. Do you understand? I won't say I did not say okay because it's a foreign number. I called the person. I explained that okay, I've sent a message, blah blah blah. She was like, oh, please send me a message on Facebook. So I sent her a message, and like you say, the rest, is now she's my friend. Do you understand? She has linked me. In fact, I even later found out she's a very powerful networker. So anytime I'm in Nairobi, if there's an event, she'll be the one to even say, it was through her I went to Safaricom headquarters. There was an event in Safaricom headquarters, and she linked me up with so many people. Do you understand? And through her, I met the head of sales for Twitter, met a lot of people, met somebody that is a Ghanaian. Now she's in Ghana. What's her name? Burial, right? So she's how do I explain it now? Like Red Africa, these people, uh, Adebola Williams. The way Adebola Williams, right, does a stain in Nigeria, that's what she does in Ghana. Do you understand? So they do all these kind of awards for youths. They do they're one of the top marketers in Ghana, right? They do a lot of things actually, you know. In fact, there was a time they also did social media week in Ghana, right? But I would not have met those people if I had not taken that first step to actually apply to be a speaker. Do you understand? So there are lots of opportunities to actually apply. You can actually apply to be a speaker. You can be invited to be a speaker. You can even be on platforms like Speaker Hub. I don't know if I put it here, right? You can be on platforms like speakerhub.com. Okay. There are some speaker bureaus. You can actually register. Yes, they are paid, they are not free. Most of them are not free. Do you understand? But you can actually pay so that you can get that visibility. And so this speaker bureau, they are like um speaker talent agencies, right? That look for dedicated, special talents that can, add value to events. Do you understand? Right? So what one thing you can actually do is to do call for speakers. So let me see if I can show you what that means. You can use YouTube to let me just share my screen. Right? So what you can do is call for speakers, 2006, 26. Then you put your topic, right? Project management, okay? Or business analysis or artificial intelligence or leadership, whatever topic that you want to put. Do you understand? Call for speakers 2006 artificial intelligence. So hmm? Intelli intelligence, right? So what this means is you look for places where and you can apply because there are lots of there are lots and lots. There's a plethora of conferences globally that are looking for speakers. Even up to today, there's a group that I belong in, right? Somebody even sent a message that they are looking for a speaker, but that has a core marketing background. They're looking for a speaker that has a core marketing background and has a doctorate, a PhD or a DBA, all right, and has strong research focus in artificial intelligence. Do you understand? So the person must have those three. So the person should be so they want a speaker that will speak in South Africa later this year. Do you understand? So what I'm trying to say basically, sorry about okay. What I'm trying to say basically is there are opportunities everywhere, right? So if you are aligned with such opportunities, you definitely, you know, be uh be reached. All right. So if you look at this now, so there are major conferences, AI conferences, that you can actually just take your time and look out for them, right? For those of us that have learned AI, you can create an AI agent with Zapier to actually research opportunities for you. So whenever there's an opportunity, to just send that opportunity to your email. You don't need to, start thinking or worrying about going to different websites, crawling the entire web, all right, every day to look for opportunities. So if you look at call for speakers, you go to some of these websites, you will see, some of them will have a deadline. There are so many events actually, but this is just one of the quickest way, right? One of the AI for good. Do you understand? So there are so many. Submit a speaker, London AI Summit, right? Call for speakers. Can you see? So many events that you can apply to. Do you understand? And reach out to them. So you can go on Eventbrite, reach out to them. Okay? Area for you. Do you understand? So they just might have some criteria. And if you meet those criteria, you just submit. And some can actually pay you to come over to speak, right? You cannot control the effect of your own virality. So for instance, you cannot control how viral you can become. Just
There's an
actually
hand
come
up. Somebody has
and
a
guide.
question.
Oh, okay, yes, please. Go ahead, please. Who is asking?
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, my name is Olubumi.
All right.
Apologies for joining late. I just
Okay.
wanted to find out. Now I've seen if you want to be a speaker. What
Okay.
about if you want to kind of learn, like free online, free attending like a free online, whatever? So where
Okay.
can
Okay.
we
Free.
search for that one?
Those ones too. Free. There are many now. So you could, let's say you want to search for opportunities to just to learn, to attend some events. So you go to Eventbrite, right? You
Mm-hmm,
go to
mm-hmm.
you go to eventbrite.com or you go to meetup.com.
Okay.
Yeah, just look for events. So eventbrite.com. Then you search for so some of them are free, some of them are paid for, right? So you just search for, you browse events in that's your location. So for me, I usually recommend attending at least a physical event at least once in every quarter. When I was much younger, I was attending events almost every month. Do you understand? But now I don't have that much time again. But so what I can do for me is just to look for events that interest me. Do you understand? And some of those events that are physical, they also have the virtual sessions as well. So you just type UK, United Kingdom, right? And you can actually find events. So that's one way. There's another way, meetup.com. Okay. So, but
Yeah.
Meetup is a good place to actually also find events in your area. So I don't know if I've been cycle, but that's the quickest way. Then if you want to, let's say, go global, you can go to conference alerts. There's conferencealerts.com, right? So let's say, for instance, if you are planning a holiday to the US or to Kenya, so you can say, okay, maybe you use that your holiday time to attend one event around Kenya, right? So you see events by topic, right? Because events are actually a good way to network with people physically. Do you understand? There's more power in physical events than virtual events. From my own experience, right? Virtual events is just there for ease of access, and all of that. But if you really want to meet people, you want to build connections, right? You want to, really move ahead like that. So it's best you invest in physical events. So there are different types: leadership, artificial intelligence. Just look for your own topic, right? And you can also search by country or region as well, right? Africa, Europe, and all of that. Just attend one or two. Even if you don't speak, but at least just attend. You can ask questions, you can meet people, introduce yourself, even if just one person or two, you know. I was telling some people recently that how I met my wife was because of an event I attended at Pan Atlantic University. That is the owners of Lagos Business School. So there was a training just like this. And it was a small class. We're not even up to 20. Do you understand? But I attended that training and I met somebody. I met a few people, but that I met I met one person that provided the connection or the link to my wife. Do you understand? So I don't know if I would have been married today if I had not attended that 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 class, that training.
Wow,
You
thank
get
God. That was a great encounter. It was a divine one.
it's
Thank
a
God for
divine
network.
one.
It was a divine one.
That was a great encounter, right? So so what I'm trying to say is that it's not even just about life partners, but there's some people, there's some strategic people you just meet at some places. You may just tell them I do this or I do that, and you never can tell how, because they've met you at that event, they already see you as somebody of value. You understand? And that's what speaking actually does. Why I like speaking is that, let's say you're on a panel. So I've been on a panel, and okay, there was one I did in Kenya. That's another event too, in Kenya too, right? So I was on the panel, but I was not the main speaker, but I was on the panel, right? Okay, they made me the they made me the moderator of that panel. But in that panel, I saw there was somebody from South Africa, I think two people from Kenya, there one from two other people from Nigeria and all of that. So the one from Kenya, till today now we're friends. Do you understand? Because what he said was, okay, he wants to take us out for a dinner, It was through him I even got to know about this place in Kenya. It's called Carnival. You get it? So we all went out and we bonded, and all of that. He took us to his office, he was building something really big, He took us to his office. We saw his office, clean guy, wealthy guy, right? And I learned so much from him. Till dates, we're friends. So one thing about being a speaker, nobody knows your background per se, right? Everybody's just saying that, okay, since you're on that panel, you're on the same level, or at least you are perceived to be on the same level as the same people on that same panel. Do you understand? So for instance, now, let's say you're just by stroke of happenstance, I'm in a panel where Dangote is, or where $10 is, and there's Dangote, there's $10, there is another billionaire. Now, I'm not a billionaire, but let's just say there are 5 billionaires in that panel and 2 non-billionaires on that panel. But do you know the perception? Everybody would think that since there's Dangote there is $10 there is another billion, you are also a billionaire, or somehow you are in the process of, even they themselves, the $10, the Dangote, the Tony Elimelu in that panel would see you as one of them. They will respect you. They'll give you that accord. So that's the psychology of being in a room or in a panel or in a room where they are like-minded people. Do you understand? So there was a conference I attended in America. All right. Although I didn't speak at that conference, yeah, but I attended that conference, and there was somebody I met. Right now, she has raised and she has made millions of dollars. But it gave me psychological permission that okay, even though I've not paid $1 million yet, I just know that I'm in that space, that it's possible. I just know that it's possible that I can raise or I can make $1 million. Do you understand? So she was even telling me about some Nigerians she has met, and all of that, that have made millions of, because in that conference, almost, let's say about 80% of the people that are in that conference, right? They are millionaires in dollars, but they are unassuming. You will not know. Do you get? It's Nigeria now that when you see somebody, you know that from the person's dressing, you see that the person is rich. But when you go abroad, you see the person on t-shirts, you see, I mean, you will not know that this person can buy you 20 times over, right? So, case in point, let me give you another example. There was one guy in that same conference, there was somebody that was speaking because they had breakout sessions. So they put us in different. So I chose one guy's session. So the guy was talking about a project, right? He's a Kenyan. So the guy was talking about a project that he's doing. It's on storytelling and all of that. So he said he's trying to document, you know, great people. He has done that for Nelson Mandela and so many other great Africans. But he's trying to see how he can, you know, document stories of George Foreman. What is it? George Freeman? What was it? I heard George Freeman or so. This guy that is an actor. Oprah Winfrey, and I think one other popular black person. Do you understand? So just say he said it passively. Guess what? After that class, somebody in that room, right? I still collected the guy's number. His name is John, something, something, something. But somebody in that room said, "Oh, right, you want to see okay, yes, Morgan Freeman. So you want to see Morgan Freeman, you want to see Oprah? I can take you to them in Los Angeles. They are my friends." Just like that. Do you understand? So just because he voiced out his own dreams and and it was opening the door for that opportunity. Do you understand? Because that guy that said he will take you to them, that guy is a filmmaker. Do you understand? So what I'm trying to say is that we should not limit ourselves by, you know, by physical this thing, or we should not, talk down on ourselves and say, okay, we've not really achieved so much. So even if you've overcome an addiction, right? You can go very far in your life. You can be speaking at conferences. I have a friend. She lost 40 kg. She was very fat before. So she wrote a book on, the title of the book was How I Lost 40 kg. But that book actually took her around the world. Do you understand? So she speaks at conferences, and all of that. But the book is How I Lost 40 kg. But to some others, it's like they've lost 40 kg, it was nothing to them. But to her, it was a big deal. And to her, I mean, to some others, it's also a big deal. So we should not discount our own value. Do you understand? Or we should not underestimate our own power. Right? That's what I've come to. That I'm just talking from my own experience, Shao. Right? You know, estimate our. So look for opportunities to apply to become a speaker. You can also leverage paid speaking platforms. There's one called Speaker Hub. Excuse me. Speaker Hub. All right. To turn your voice into a visible and bookable personal brand, the speaking, podcast, and press. Okay. There are many opportunities like that. You can join groups. You can join groups like Rockitech, right? There are some groups I joined. This one is working. Sorry, let me put this. So this speaker hub can, it's if you want to be if you want to get a speaking gig, right? You want to be booked and all that. You can go through speaker hub to be booked. Even for podcasts. Now there are podcasts that are looking for. I mean, there are podcasts on different topics. There was a movie I was watching with my wife, right? There was this person that what was the name of that movie again? Forgot it. But there was this person that was writing a podcast on murders, right? How weird killings. Okay, yes. The title of the movie is "I Know What You Did Last Summer." That's it. That's the title. It's a thriller. It's like a horror movie. Do you understand? I know what you did last summer, right? So the lady, she has a podcast, right, on serial killings, and all of that. So I was like, how can somebody have a podcast on serial killing? So there are podcasts on different topics, right? And people and there are platforms that are looking for speakers to speak, to share their thoughts on those opportunities. Do you understand? So always look out for opportunities. There was one group I joined, and somebody in that group said he's looking for a speaker, he's looking for somebody that will speak uh on radio, Lagos Traffic Radio, and share his thoughts. But it's in pidgin. Do you understand? And I volunteered. I said, okay, I would like to speak. Do you understand? And I was heard on radio, and I even documented it, screenshotted it, put it as my evidence. As 2026 mentorship. Let me say mentorship. Okay, let me just right. So call for papers. So I can look for call for papers in 2026 conferences that you know So there's okay, I see call for proposals. So I can submit. Now you see, I can submit proposals. So always look out for the application deadlines, right? Apply now the prestigious global mentorship. Anyway, but you get the logic, right? You get the logic. So the opportunities there. So always look for opportunities. So I'll close with this. There is a site that a friend of mine has. It's called opportunitydesk.com. Is it .org? I think it's .org. So this is like is I mean is a platform for different types of opportunities. Johnson, fellowships, conferences, scholarships. So you just look for the type, you that appeals to you, right? Call for host organization, community engagement exchange program. Can you see African Union Digital Innovation Fellowship Program? Let me see this one, sir.
Sorry, we not see your screen again.
Oh, really? Sorry. I thought I was sharing my screen.
We can see it. We can see it.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me share again. Okay. So this one was posted today. Hmm? So you just be looking for opportunities, right? You just be looking for opportunities that you can qualify for. Now, it's not like you might. So you should not give up. So if you don't have the time, maybe you can employ somebody. Do you know? In fact, I how do I explain that? Do you know that some of all these people, right? You, some of all these bank CEOs, you wonder, okay, how they were called to, speak at maybe World Economic Forum, speak at one event, Africa one thing, AU something something in Cote d'Ivoire, bank of this. Do you understand? So you wonder, okay, how are they getting such opportunities? Do you understand? How are they getting such opportunities? Most of them, they have executive assistants or they have PAs that will look for opportunities for them to speak. So why do they do so? Because it will put them in the global light. It's PR for them. They will make more friends. Do you understand? So some of them will say, okay, their PAs should look for opportunities for them and give them opportunities. Do you understand? Look for opportunities for them give them opportunities. I mean, apply for opportunities for them to speak, or to make a presentation. So that is like a marketing channel. That is like a marketing platform. Does it make sense? Right? So you can go to opportunity desk and look for opportunities regarding grants, fellowships, and so on and so forth, right? And find out the ones that you qualify for. All right. I hope with these few points, I've been able to I've been able to convince you regarding opportunities. So thank you very much for your time. So I'll be available to ask any question and to answer any question.
Hi, thank you very much for that short and impactful. Is there any question from anybody? So, like we normally like to do on Rockitech, we don't just want the theory, we want the practical. So there was this slide that you showed that has the four pillars, and you talk about the second one was impact, and you mentioned that you have a place where you document all your exposure.
Yes.
Can you?
Yes.
We're not putting you on the spot. If it's something that you can just show us.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. If it's okay, but if it's not,
Okay, no problem. Let me see. Let me look for it. Let me.
I didn't love those kind of things because myself, I tried to, but I've not been so good at it. I have document flying
Okay.
all over the place, but I use
Yes.
Azure DevOps for some. I
Oh, okay.
store some of my documents in Azure DevOps, and I use Notes, OneNote.
Oh, okay. I'm
But
coming
you
up
that you
now.
said you have 400 pages. Wow, I want to see.
Yeah,
So
no, I'll
maybe
show you. I'll show you. Let
I
me
want to
just
be
type
I
it.
want to feel like you when I grow up.
You
Yeah, I
can
know
also
that.
put it in Telegram.
Put
I'm
one.
coming. I'm
No, you
coming.
can't put this one to comment. Then you just show us. Okay,
Evidence.
okay,
Really?
yeah. I also use Telegram. That's true. The shared. I also use Telegram. Maybe why he's looking for his own. So maybe that's
Okay.
true. Laros,
See
thank you
that.
for saying that.
Okay. Okay, that's a good one too. Yes.
I use Telegram as well. So here's my Telegram. Sorry, that's WhatsApp. So here's my Telegram. Then I go to share. So you can save right there. So I have all these documents I've been saving for to come back to or to read. They're all there, just my personal saving. Then I use Azure Azure DevOps for Rockitech. So there was this project that we were on. I used Azure DevOps. So the first project that we executed in Rockitech, which was pin event. I have on the wiki. I have a space for useful materials. So I have all useful materials there, and also each of the projects that we created, I try to keep as many documents as I can. So we have also this one especially. I try to use the wiki to keep as much information. So, but I will go
Okay.
back on it.
Okay.
I'll go
Oh,
back
wow.
on it and start
Yes.
building
Start
more, just as
document.
you mentioned
Yes.
it. Because somebody also came on our program and talked about it the same way as UM, and I love what he
Oh,
did. And
okay.
since then, I've been trying to, but now that you mentioned it again, I will keep it. All these flyers, I'll make sure they go into one folder. But and then secondly, you are going to. I was sharing my screen, right?
Is it my screen that you are seeing now?
Okay, yes, we're seeing your screen now.
Okay, yes. So, oh, sorry. So, can you see? Oh, okay, wait. Can you see page 2 of 329?
Wow, 320.
Yes. So, I
That's
put
something.
all my certificates, some recommendation letters.
Wow. Wow.
So my like any this thing that I appear online, right? I just document them. So evidence of award. So recommendation for, I mean, like an acknowledgement letter for the award,
That's really
right?
good. Really, really good.
Media mentions. So this is media mentions.
That's enough. That's enough. Just because we are recording.
Okay.
So
Okay,
that's
okay, okay,
enough.
okay,
Just for us
okay.
to say. So you can see
Okay.
what. Wow.
Yes, yes. So
I've
I'll
seen.
always put them like, applying for something.
Yeah.
It's already documented. So you just document them in those categories. Or you can just put them in folders, because I put them
In
in folders
folder.
before I now put them in
Yeah.
one this thing. Yes.
It's good to keep
Okay.
records. And
Yes.
and the second
Yes.
thing that we talk about is about the impact is so on this call now, it's just quite
Yeah.
unfortunate that most of us we are not able to access the chat. I would have asked us to just in this call share our LinkedIn profile so that we all connect. So
Yeah.
that's part of how we show impact. But it's just quite unfortunate. Teams does not have not been allowing people to do that chat, but it's something that we can do. We can keep it in mind to just connect. And then thirdly, you talk about peer review. I'm very much interested in that. And if there's anyone also interested, I'll come back to
Okay.
you later
Okay.
for us to do a deep
Okay.
dive for us to
Okay.
search for where
Okay.
we can get peer review. If it's just to do
Okay.
two in 1 year, I want to also
Yes.
start keeping those records. So that's what we
Yes.
do on Rockitech. We don't just do theory, we do the
Yeah.
practical. So please take note of that. I'll come back to you on that. If anybody wants to
All right.
join me in that regard as well, you can let me know so that when we come to it, we'll come together.
I might,
Thank you.
I might, I might want to join you, and I also want to join Onaivi too.
Oh, okay. Okay. No problem. All right. No problem. Thank you.
we,
All
we
right.
will talk after this one.
No
I don't want
problem.
people
No
to know
problem.
our secrets.
Anyway, for those who
No
can share
problem.
their LinkedIn profile here, you can. I can see some of us can, but
Okay.
those of us that can, I'm sure we have been called, we have been connected before. But if we can still share our LinkedIn profile, so from there, if you want recommendation, we can give ourselves recommendation.
Yeah,
And that's
recommendation
about
and
networking part.
endorsement.
Yes. Very important.
Right.
And
So
please, when
thank
we give recommendation and endorsement, we should not go and remove it. Oh, I made a mistake with that for somebody because I changed
Yeah.
some things on my, and I felt she was sorted already. So I didn't know she wasn't sorted. So that caused some trouble. I did apologize, but of course, lessons learned. You just remain with the endorsement. If you have to change, you don't go and remove it because it might affect the other
Okay.
person.
Yeah. That's true. Yes.
right. So is there any other question? Does anybody have any question? If there's no question, I'll stop recording now.